The WWF, what the world is watching. Turn it on and rip the knob off.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the Wrestling Memory Grenade, now at episode 205, and we are here now in July of 1989 in the World Wrestling Federation. I am Ray Russell, and we kick off WWF TV for July 89 right here, right now. And next week, stay tuned, guys, a special edition as we invite Matt Crowder back to the show. Going to be a two-time guest now is Matt Crowder, returning for next week's episode of The Grenade, covering the second week of July TV. But it is here right now. We kick things off right at the very beginning of the month, heading off now to the July 1st, 89 edition of the WWF's Superstars of Wrestling. Here it is, Superstars for July the 1st, tape back June 6th, Madison, Wisconsin, Dane County Expo Center. It's Vince McMahon and Jesse Ventura on the call as we go off to the ring for the Red Rooster, kicking things off hot this week. Poultry in motion, if you will, taking on Jim Megan. As we see some nice, solid, yet basic offense from Terry Taylor. Megan telegraphs a backdrop, and the Rooster stops short to cluck in his face. No, seriously, that's literally what he does. Terry Taylor bends over and clucks in Megan's face. And of course, Vince loves it there on the commentary, pal, as the Rooster with an armbar takedown, Baba style, and the elevated chicken wing going to get the win. Danny Davis calling for the bell. Red Rooster picking up a submission victory, 1 minute and 55 seconds. Terry Taylor in a foul mood this week. As I said, he is poultry in motion, folks. Hey, that should be on a shirt. Should be on a shirt, pal. Coming to a merchandise catalog near you. As we go off now to Update, and Mean Gene Okerlund talking about the recent attack the Warrior Man laid on ravishing Rick Rude last week here on Superstars.
That, of course, is footage from last week's Superstars of Wrestling. This week we had an opportunity to get comments from both the Ultimate Warrior and this man, Intercontinental Champion, ravishing Rick Rude.
You had your chance in the ring against me, Ultimate Warrior, and you couldn't get the job done. So now what you gotta do is you have to interfere with my recreational time. Well, Warrior, you shattered a young lady's dreams, and now I'm gonna be your nightmare.
You ruined his rude awakening. The next rude awakening, my friend, is gonna be on you.
As I rise from the darkness, I set aside no time for fun and games or recreational periods. I do not live by what you tell me to do. I do what the Warrior wants, and the fear I see in your eyes has begun to blind me.
All right, we heard from closing comments there, Rick Rude and the Ultimate Warrior having comments about last week's, well, it was a different rude awakening, certainly for the ravishing one, who says Warrior had his chance and couldn't get the job done when he stepped in the ring with me. However, last week it was Warrior interfering with Rude's recreational time, shattering a poor woman's dream in the process. The next rude awakening, Warrior, will be on you. Meanwhile, Warrior here says Rude's fear is beginning to blind him. Okay, I'm not even sure what that means, and I'm a Warrior fan, but the feud will continue on, as we know, here throughout the summer of 1989. And speaking of summer, that must mean it's time for SummerSlam. Feel the heat, a bumper here promoting SummerSlam coming in late August here. So stay tuned for that as we go back to the ring for the reuniting of the Hart Foundation. Bret Hart and Jim Neidhart back together again to take on Ray Oakley and Brian Costello. Separated since post-WrestleMania 5. Looks like the Harts slowly being put back together for another run as a tag team. We even get an insert promo here from the Hart Foundation, say whether it's singles or tags, their opponents will suffer a heart attack. We'll have to wait and see what happens here. Brett with a little offense on Costello early on, but the duo of Costello and the big guy Oakley try and double team the Anvil. But Neidhart just plows them both right over. Yeah, baby. Brett back in with a standing drop kick, and the Anvil with a nasty drop on Oakley across the top rope, setting up, there it is, as promised, heart attack on Oakley, giving the Hart Foundation a win, looking good as ever. Again, in solo or tag team competition, match goes 2 minutes and 19 seconds. As we cut away, another random fan, after just seeing No Holds Barred, he thinks the Hulkster deserves an Academy Award, brother. Well, maybe he does, but not for acting in his movies. Then it's back to the ring singles action. Going to see Bad News Brown battle Red Tyler here. And look out, Red. Bad News attacking from behind, not getting paid by the hour. Now, Jesse Ventura ponders if Bad News' first name is Leroy, as in Leroy Brown. But the body correcting himself. Wait a minute. No. Can't be. Leroy was from Chicago. South side of Chicago, to be exact. And Bad News from Harlem, New York. Maybe a relative, though, Jess. Meanwhile, it's a total mauling as usual here from Brown. Left arm clothesline, setting up the Ghetto Blaster. Getting the win in 155, and of course going to dispose of the trash. Poor Red Tyler after the match tossed to the floor by Bad News Brown. Wandering around aimlessly right now with little to do, but he's still kicking ass here on TV. As we go off now to Dusty Rhodes vignette number 7. The final in the series, I do believe. He's the son of a plumber, but now, I guess, the business, if you will, has been handed down to Dusty Rhodes, who is now a plumber himself.
Whew, have no fear, the son of plumbers. What's going on, baby? What can I do for you?
Thank God you're here.
I'm here to check your plumbing. You know that. Now, let me ask you a couple questions. Is the dinger dinging?
No, the dinger's not dinging.
Is the ringer ringing?
And the ringer's not ringing.
Is that water, like, I'm trying to think now, is it like real crystal clear? You know what I'm talking about, Mama?
No.
It's not?
No.
Whew. Is it brown?
It's bad. Dark, dark brown.
You talking about chocolate brown?
Come and
Woo! I got just a thing. We got to fix this, Mama. Woo-wee. Oh, wow. We got a mess here. Look at this barbecue. Ooh, I wonder what that is. I can't see what that is down there. Whoa. Woo. That's worse than I thought, Mama. Listen, you don't want to see this thing now. I got to do a potty bypass. If you ain't seen one of these, you don't want to be looking. You're too pretty to be seen that. You step outside, I'm going to take care of business. Hey, leave the good doctor with his tools. You know what I'm talking about? I'm going to take care of this thing. Ooh, that's hard, too. But I got to get into it. Business time. Ooh, yeah. Oh, baby. Whoa, Lordy. Honey, open door. Open door. I got something for you. Woo-wee. Oh, yeah, look at it. What I do, let me get this out and show it to you. What I do, I did the first ever triple potty bypass. 43 pounds. Look at it. Woo-wee. It is beautiful. Don't want to break it, baby. Don't want to break it. Woo, I got some unfinished business to do. Matter of fact, a little cosmetic surgery. Ooh-wee, she gonna be proud of it. Hey, darling, Mama, come in here. I want to show you something now. Look at this. Hey, your pride and joy is ready. Take a look here. Hey, no more tidy bowl. You know what I mean? No more janitor in a drum. No more Drano, if you will. This here is ready for Better Homes and Garden. Take a picture of this. Ooh, let me ask you, is it ringing? Is it dinging? All right, test time. I like you. Put your finger on that thing and listen to this music. Woo-hoo, you in business now. And I'm on the cover of Plumbers Weekly. Yeah, woo!
Hey, aren't you?
Well, all sorts of innuendos in that one, including the fact that, that house, once again, we talked about the pizza delivery being done at the house of Bobby Heenan. Well, the bathroom here used in the house of Bobby Heenan as well. But that wasn't the only thing used that was Bobby Heenan's, and don't take it the wrong way, guys. The wife of one Bobby Heenan is the woman in this particular vignette with Dusty Rhodes, in fact. And what a mess. I don't know if that toilet was broken or it just needed a good cleaning, but Dusty Rhodes, nevertheless, going to perfect a triple, what did he call that there? Triple potty bypass? if you will. Big Dust coming to the arenas very soon here on television. But for right now, he's just a common man doing common jobs. Americana, the American dream himself, Dusty Rhodes. As we continue on, more action in the ring. Going to see Haku with Bobby the Brain Heenan by his side. His opponent this week, Chris Zarna, as we get an insert promo from Andre the Giant, who says Haku is the wheel king of the WWF. Aku. Aku? Even Vince McMahon giving Andre a little guff there for referring to Haku as Aku. But when you're Andre, you can call him anything you want. But yes, Haku, the wheel king of the WWF, according to the Giant. And who am I to argue with Andre? As we continue on, Chris Zarna refusing a handshake from Haku to kick things off. And, well, going to pay dearly for that. Tree-like chops. I mean, literally, these chops could have taken down a small palm tree. And Haku's been known to do that. Google it. Meanwhile, a backbreaker setting Zarna up for the thrust kick to the face. Gets it done every time. Haku going over 2 minutes and 5 seconds. Andre cutting that insert promo is a lead into some of the house show matches. Haku and Andre teaming pre-Colossal Connection, taking on the team of Hacksaw Jim Duggan. And at this point, Hillbilly Jim, believe it or not. As we go off now to an event center, Sean Mooney here talking to the likes of Brutus the Barber Beefcake and the Twin Towers.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Sean Mooney. There are many tough mountains to climb here in the WWF, and if you are fortunate to be a superstar who reaches the top, you will be proclaimed a champion. Atop the Tag Team Summit are Axe and Smash of Demolition, the Tag Team Champions. But there is a tag team approaching the peak. They are the Twin Towers, Akeem and the Big Boss Man. They're joined by Slick.
Yo, brother, anybody out there in the World Wrestling Federation wants a piece of the Twin Towers single R tags, just come and look our number up, brother. In the law enforcement business, we have a little saying. There's safety in numbers. Well, look at these numbers. 814 pounds of the baddest men in the World Wrestling Federation. And when I laid it up with a Slickster, we can't be denied. Right on.
And you know, like I said time and time again, I have the greatest tag team that there is in professional wrestling history of the World Wrestling Federation. Now, let's make no mistakes about it. When you look at Akeem and the Big Boss Man, you're looking at the cream of the crop.
Don't forget it.
Well, Slick, he believes the Twin Towers are the cream of the crop, and one must admit he has put together one of the most awesome tag teams ever assembled in the World Wrestling Federation. Their quest to be the next tag team champions. But there is another man who has a quest all his own. He's Brutus, the Barber Beefcake.
Well, Randy Savage, maybe you haven't been keeping up on current events, so I'll just let you in on a little secret. You know, there's a lot of people that I've done some of my best work on that are no longer with the WWF, if you get my meaning. So, Mr. Savage, and you too, Scary Sherry, I haven't forgot about you for a second. I think about you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, man. When I'm in the gym, wherever I'm at, I'm thinking about you, Scary Sherry, and you, Macho Man, because I'm coming to get you. I'm going to cheat you just the way you did me. I'm going to stomp you, and then I'm going to cut and strut, baby. Cutting and strut.
Well, Brutus the Barber Beefcake with plans for a strutting and cutting party, but in this party he has only invited 2 people. They are the Macho Man Randy Savage and Sensational Sherry, and Brutus plans to even the score with those 2 in the very near future. There's more action when we continue.
Well, the Twin Towers gunning for gold, no doubt about it, with Demolition. Brutus Beefcake having his issues with the Macho Man Randy Savage and all the heels here in the World Wrestling Federation for that matter. And speaking of heels, we go back to the ring for the syndicated TV debut of the Genius, Lanny Poffo and the Genius gimmick taking on Sonny Rogers, as we hear a poem from Poffo, who is beyond the outer limits and past the Twilight Zone. He's the Genius Lanny Poffo, and he stands all alone. And alone he is the Genius, the world's smartest man. Solid heel heat for the intro anyway. Never really noticed this before, the Genius wearing boots that read High IQ. That's H-I-I-Q. I get it. I like it. Beautiful cartwheel to begin with as well, as Vince McMahon thinks he looks a little funny, pal. Not sure what you mean by that, Vince, but pretty quick assault ends with a top rope somersault senton, sometimes referred to as the honor roll, gets the Genius to win 1 minute and 15 seconds, and a rather nimble backflip for celebration, and a quick exit here from Leaping Lanny. The Genius. As we get more ads for SummerSlam, we go off to the Brother Love show this week, featuring Rick Martel and Slick as the guests, and some dancing and finger banging upon the end. Probably not the only time Rick Martel's ever finger banged, but just saying. Rick Martel and Slick entering the Brother Love set, as Slick can't take credit for the monster that Rick Martel has become. That credit goes to the refried bean-eating Chico Santana. His words, not mine. Even though Martel is jacked here, Brother Love insisting Rick has lost a lot of weight, about 240 pounds of weight. Oh, I get it. Martel done carrying Tito Santana on his back, the dead weight of Strikeforce, that loser. Tito Santana no longer being carried by Rick Martel, who does some Tito bashing himself here, mentioning how he handled all the workload. But the free ride is over, says Martel. Big plans ahead, and Santana better stay out of his way. Rick even sharing a secret with us. If you get close enough to Tito, he has a stench about him. He stinks. In more ways than one, apparently, according to Rick Martel. Enter Tito Santana, who is clearly hurt enough. Now, the Doctor of Style going to be a good manager here, stepping in between Martel and Tito, referring to Santana as taco breath and even hot pepper. And I had to pop for that one. He called Tito hot pepper at one point here. If Santana has anything to say to Martel, Slick says, you can say it through me. And that Tito does, clocking Slick down to the stage floor. But Martel with a cheap shot off the side. Well, to be fair, he was defending his manager. But Martel attacking Tito, and the fight is on. The two men trading punches on the floor, rolling around back and forth down the steps. Finally, officials arrive to pull them apart. As Santana being pulled away, Martel taking the microphone to taunt Tito from afar. Honestly, a really great heat segment. Something they should have done a couple months ago to really get the fire underneath. At this point, I don't know if you're going to salvage it. But the feud that never ends, Tito Santana and Rick Martel, coming to a house show near you as we continue on back to the ring. Brutus, the Barber Beefcake, battling Jim Merkel in full body tights, assassin style. We get an insert promo here during the Beefer match from the sensational Sherry, who appears to be no fan of Brother Brudai. Sherry promising that Brutus Beefcake will never cut the hair of Sherry nor the Macho Man. And as you might suspect here, not much in the ring by way of offense from Beefcake before we see the sleeper hold applied. 1 minute, 48 seconds. Down goes Jim Merkel in a post-match summer haircut, free of charge, courtesy of the barber. As we continue into the program, we get a myriad of clips from No Holds Barred. And I'm telling you, if you taped all the WWF programming back then, you may be able to piece together the entire movie. Maybe. Mostly. Back to the ring for one more match here this week on the program. The fabulous Rougeau brothers, with Jimmy Hart in their corner, battling Paul Roma and Todd Becker. And now that the Rougeaus are bona fide all-American boys, Jesse Ventura going to change their names to Ray and Jack Rougeau. Meanwhile, Paul Roma in black trunks now to get away from those young stallion colors, even though there's a horse on the ass, a horse's head on the ass, which is oxymoronic, I think. Jacques putting over Roma's physique before the match goes. Rougeau wanting to have a pose down with Pretty Paul as Roma turns to pose to the crowd. Jacques tries a dropkick from behind. Paul is ready for it, sidestepping. Roma going to retaliate with a dropkick of his own, taking down Jacques, taking down Raymond. Dropkicks so plenty, send the Rougeaus packing out of the ring. Finally, back inside, Todd Becker going to tag in, and you know the drill by this point. The heels immediately take over, double press into the air, drops Becker throat first across the top rope before Raymond applying that Boston Crab as Jacques Rougeau with a knee drop to the back of Becker's head. Going to give the Rougeaus the win with that combo finisher, 2 minutes and 52 seconds. And as we close out this week's edition, moving into the 4th of July, just days away, Independence Day here in the States, it's King Duggan to close the show. Wishing everyone out there a happy and safe Independence Day this 4th of July weekend, 1989. Well, that's what I assumed he was here for, but instead, Jim Duggan here to promote No Holds Barred. Says go out and see it today, folks, and if you've already seen it, go out and see it again. Tough guy. And that's going to close out this week's Superstars. Next week on the program, the Twin Towers will be here along with Mr. Perfect, Coco Beware, the Superfly, Jimmy Snuka, Sean and Marty the Rockers, Greg Valentine, Dino Bravo in action with Ronnie Garvin as referee, I promise that one will be fun. Plus, Brother Love's guests next week, the Macho Man Randy Savage and the Sensational Sherry. Dig it. Nice, quick, to-the-point segment. Not a whole lot happening here this week. They do further the Martel Tito storyline, finally. A lot of showcasing here. Brutus Beefcake, obviously, we know he's going to be married to the Macho Man and a Macho's partner. We won't let the cat out of the bag just yet. We did get the syndicated in-ring debut of the Genius, the Hart Foundation back together again, the Rougeos, assholes as ever, especially Jacques. And we're going to continue on in just a moment with Wrestling Challenge. But before we do that, guys, we're going to take this quick WrestleCopia timeout.
Relive the glory days of Memphis wrestling with the Retro Wrestling Review USWA podcast. Each week, we go back in time to review USWA Championship Wrestling from the 1990s, episode by episode. Join us for watch-alongs, behind-the-scenes stories, and exclusive interviews with people who were there and lived it. Whether you grew up watching it or you're discovering it for the first time, this podcast is your ringside seat to Memphis wrestling history. It's all a part of the WrestleCopia Podcast Network. Listen now at USWApodcast.com.
Hey guys, Ray Russell here. Lots of new stuff happening here at WrestleCopia, and I want to update you on everything going on with the brand right now. First and simple, if you haven't checked out our website at WrestleCopia.com, it's a great way to keep up with the latest episodes of all of your favorite Copia programming, from the Wrestling Memory Grenade to Regional Wrestling with the Territory Talk, the Wrestling Stoop with the legendary Bob Roop, Professor Dan Ginnity and the Pro Wrestling Academy, and all the other great podcasts from Gene Jackson, Bob Smith, Dave Dynasty, and the boys from the Other Ship. And of course, all of those programs also available at your favorite podcast streaming platforms. And if you want to stay up to date with everything going on in the Copia world, all the latest news, random thoughts, fun videos, pictures, and more, make sure to join the more than 33,000 followers over at Facebook.com/Wrestling Grenade. Don't be left out. Please also follow us at the former Twitter, now X, at Wrestling Grenade, and subscribe to YouTube.com/Wrestling Grenade. Would also greatly appreciate you leaving us a 5-star review at your favorite podcast apps, guys, because every positive review makes our podcasts more visible in the algorithms, if you will, which allows us to continue to grow. Now, for those who have been asking about merchandise, WrestleCopia merch, you can find plenty of designs for our t-shirts, hats, magnets, stickers, coffee mugs, and more over at the TeePublic store. That is tpublic.com/user/WrestleCopia. And last but definitely not least, it's what keeps the entire machine going. I'm talking about patreon.com/WrestleCopia. Now with 3 major tiers and tons of Patreon exclusive next level content for our supporters. Remember guys, no subscription, cancel any time, but I think you'll like the content that we're offering there for any budget you may have. And you can sign up right now, patreon.com/WrestleCopia. We appreciate your support in helping us pay the bills to keep the WrestleCopia Podcast Network running and enabling us to continue to bring you all the quality programming that we offer.
This is Wrestling Nostalgia, the podcast that dives into wrestling history. Hey, wrestling fans, I'm Dave Dynasty, and if you enjoy podcasts that are knowledgeable and history-driven, then Wrestling Nostalgia is for you. With great guests and fun interviews, there are over 200 episodes in our archives. We chat with several first-time guests and often cover topics not discussed on other podcasts. Look up Wrestling Nostalgia on your favorite podcast platform and visit all of our links at linktree/WrestlePod. That is linktr.ee/RASSLEPOD. And remember, wherever you go, whatever you do, be good, be safe, and keep on growing.
Welcome back to the program as we go off now to the July 2nd, 89 edition of WWF Wrestling Challenge. All right, it is Challenge for July the 2nd, tape back June 7th, Rockford, Illinois, at the Metro Center. And your color man these days is Gorilla Monsoon, play-by-play, Tony Schiavone. And somehow Tony forgets to introduce our analyst, Bobby the Brain Heenan, also still here for the time being anyway. As we go off to the ring for tag team action, Shawn Michaels, Marty Jannetty, the Rockers, battling Barry Horowitz, pat on the back, and Tom Stone. We get an insert promo during this match from the Rougeaus and Jimmy Hart as the trio sing in harmony. The Rockers will be singing in the rain as they take on the Rougeaus. They put over Shawn here on commentary, being back 100% after the Rougeaus attack with the megaphone to the throat. But truth be told, Shawn never left. Worked every night. Wasn't really much of an injury angle, although it was a hell of a spot when they did it. Fun opening sequence here is Shawn catching Barry Horowitz in a backbreaker. Tom Stone in to break things up, which leads to a four-way melee. Now the heels try and whip the Rockers into each other, but Michael's going to backdrop his own partner Jannetty, who lands on his feet, and the Rockers stereo dropkick, sending the heels out to the floor. And you wonder why these guys are, in fact, tag team specialists. Woo! We continue on. Shawn with a nice backdrop. Marty Jannetty coming off the middle rope with an elbow, and these guys all set Tom Stone up for the double flying fist drop. O'Doom gets the win, 3 minutes and 19 seconds. Rockers and Rougeaus in the house show right now. Best thing going on the C shows, or so I'm told. And based on the results, I wouldn't doubt it. As we get our challenge bumper for SummerSlam. Feel that heat, guys. The new thing they're going to be doing to death for the next 2 months. It was no holds barred. I'll settle for SummerSlam. And I'll give him this much. Vince McMahon understood the power of advertising to your audience. Taking advantage of having a 1 hour program like this. And honestly, again, it definitely beats no holds barred. Not that we're done with that, but it's certainly slowing down as we go off now to Special Report. And Lord Alfred Hayes, again, rehash of the Warrior Rude angle from last week. Warrior attacking Rude during a super rude awakening. He's going to allow the lady to kiss him, but it's Rude who gets planted on the kisser with the right hand, a clothesline perhaps, of the Ultimate Warrior, who's coming back for his Intercontinental title. Then to the ring for the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase here on Challenge. Bodyguard Virgil by his side. His opponent this week, Brad Perry. Is DiBiase going to snatch the microphone before the matchup, reminding everyone that he is the $1 Million Man, which means he is the $1 Million champion. He's also happens to be the man that put Jake Roberts out of wrestling. DiBiase doubling down here in an insert promo as well, stating that nobody touches me or my money. Jake Roberts, a mere lesson taught to everyone out there, that if you put your hands on me or my cash, you will pay the ultimate price. Now back to the ring. Before Brad Perry can be introduced, Teddy going to attack, still in his $1 Million Man entrance attire. DiBiase finally ripping off his pull-away top, but continues to wrestle the rest of the match in his tear-away pants. Teddy assaulting poor Perry here. DiBiase offers a free shot at one point. Come on, hit me. But it's all a ploy as DiBiase going to duck, countering with an inverted atomic drop. And then from there, extra aggressive $1 Million Dream sees referee Danny Davis call for the bell without even checking the arm of the down-and-out Brad Perry. Your winner in 1 minute, 53 seconds, the $1 Million Man, who post-match removes his tuxedo pants, finally, before stuffing some cash down Perry's throat. Thanks for coming, Brad. As we go off now, it's a replay of a former vignette from the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, in the butcher shop. And then it's off right now to the event center and Sean Mooney with the new look Birdman, Coco Beware, and the Honky Tonk Man.
Qualify to step in the ring here in the World Wrestling Federation, you must obviously be a gifted wrestler. But some superstars take it even further. One such superstar comes immediately to mind. He is the Birdman Coco Beware, who has used both wrestling and some fantastic aerial moves to fly to the top. Let's hear from Coco.
You see, I was talking to my mother before I came up to the World Wrestling Federation. And she said, you know what, son? There's some tough competition up there. They got some big dudes like 300 pounds in the World Wrestling Federation. Like Hulk Hogan, like Andre the Giant, like the Warriors, like the Rhodes. Oh my God, I said, she couldn't believe it. She said, son, what are you going to do? I said, mother, don't worry, don't panic, because you see, mother, I'm just as tough as they are, because I got guts, mother. You remember, I got guts, and I had guts all of my life. So I'm telling you right right now, brother, in the World Wrestling Federation. Don't take me light. Nobody take the Birdman light.
The Birdman Coco, beware, with a new look to go along with a new tough attitude. And speaking of attitude, many believe the Honky Tonk Man has an attitude problem. But then again, that depends on who you're talking to. Let's hear from the Colonel and the Honky Tonk Man.
I love it. Oh, Jimmy, I'm getting better and better at this. Man. You know, the longer I play this guitar, the longer I have it in my hand, I know the more hits I can score with it. And the Honky Tonk Man, I've been scoring hits up and down, haven't I?
Well, you know, you've been dishing out all these hits. I better run and order us another dozen guitars. What do you think, Honky?
It's going to take more than that, Jimmy. I'm telling you, the Honky Tonk Man is hot right now. I'm at the top of the charts. Oh, yeah. I'm riding with a bullet.
Number one.
The Honky Tonk Man has scored the biggest hit of all time. The Honky Tonk Man took down Jimmy Superfly Snooker. Whipped him down. Had him on his hands and knees, begging for mercy. But the Honky Tonk Man didn't stop. That's not going to help. No, sir. Not when you mess with the Honky Tonk Man. I said, you line him up. Oh, and I'll, boom, knock him down.
Well, the Honky Tonk Man with plans to knock down the competition here in the World Wrestling Federation. And as you already know, he has scored a big hit with his guitar on Superfly Jimmy Snuka. And that attack now appears to be a mere tune-up for an encounter that is now imminent. Stay tuned. The action continues after this.
Well, the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time coming off that brief stint on the house shows with the Hillbilly Jim, and now he's off to Superfly Snuka. Meanwhile, Coco, beware. You have to believe that he feels good. Good. I feel so good. Oh, yes, I do. Gotta love Coco here. The new look. I loved the look as a kid. Flashy, neon, sequin, the dyed hair, the blue paint. Anywho, it's back to the ring for the returning Superfly Jimmy Snuka. We've seen him a handful of times at this point, taking on Tom Burton. Now, during this matchup, we get an insert promo from Honky Tonk and Jimmy Hart, who say Snuka needs another blast from the past. Honky Tonk Man admitting, I'm a little surprised. Snuka got back up after being hit by the guitar. But next time, Honky got to make sure Jimmy stays down. Speaking of staying down, here in the ring, Tom Burton eats a big chop from Snuka after a leapfrog spot, followed by a backbreaker, setting up that top rope Superfly splash. It's a thing of beauty. Brother gets the win, 1 minute and 49 seconds. Snuka and Honky Tonk Man currently feuding here this summer. And speaking of feuds, here's another one coming up here in the next matchup. The Canadian or World's Strongest Man, take your pick, Dino Bravo with Jimmy Hart in his corner, taking on Ron Fales. And we get an insert promo, as I talked about feuds, from the mighty Hercules, who still thinks he's from Greek mythology, as he claims he took a walk on the dark side of the moon and pulled a shooting star, plucked it right out of the sky, and somehow that makes Hercules the strongest man in the world. Of course, Dino Bravo certainly debates that, and that feud continues on the house shows right now as well. Meanwhile, in the ring, Ronnie fails a crossbody attempt here, Dino catching him for a big press slam, and the side suplex just comes pretty quickly thereafter. Match only goes 1 minute and 15 seconds. My kind of Bravo squash, just barely a minute long. Not enough to be too offensive. And I should note, Bobby Heenan here on commentary growing increasingly upset with being ignored by Tony and the Gorilla. Stay tuned for that, guys. It's going to explode very shortly here. As we roll on, more action in the ring. Mr. Perfect battling Jim Evans. We get an insert promo here from the Hitman, Bret Hart, who has been working with Hennig much of the summer on the house shows. Bret wants to excellently execute the perfect streak, no doubt. Well, he didn't technically say that. Technical. But as we have seen, the Hart Foundation are being put back together, so you have to imagine Bret's days working Hennig one-on-one are coming to an end very soon. Meanwhile, here on commentary during the Hennig matchup, Heenan referring to Tony Schiavone as Tony Jabroni. I like that one. Threatening to have him removed from commentary. I don't know if he has that power, but we'll have to wait and see. Beautiful running dropkick here from Curt Hennig and that patented Mr. Perfect knee lift. Evans is going to fire back with a dropkick of his own, but runs right into a perfect boot in the corner. And now you're going to see a perfect plex gets the win. 2 minutes and 11 seconds. Curt Hennig remains undefeated. The perfect streak intact. As we go off now to special interview time with Mean Gene Okerlund up on the platform. This week his guests, Hillbilly Jim and Hacksaw, King Hacksaw, Jim Duggan. Now, Hillbilly out first, little do-si-do there between Jim and Gene, as Big Jim shows off his brand new good luck charm hanging around his neck. Says it was given to him by his grandpappy. a good luck horseshoe, of all things. Mean Gene wondering how much luck a charm can have against someone the size of Andre the Giant. Hillbilly says as long as he has the horseshoe in his hand, he's not afraid of anybody. Well, that doesn't sound very legal, Hillbilly. It's at that point in time, Hillbilly going to bring out King Hacksaw Jimmy Duggan, Jim Duggan, who says it's great to be king. Duggan puts over how the two Jims are similar, meat and potato kind of guys. Duggan puts over America as we celebrate the 4th of July weekend here. USA chance breakout. Again, another push for the team of Hillbilly and Hacksaw as they continue to work with Haku and Andre in the main event of the C shows right now. As we continue on, we go off to another tag team of sorts. Well, they are a tag team, in fact, at this moment. Akeem and the Big Boss Man, the Twin Towers, at it again with manager Slick by their side. Their opponents this week, Jimmy Powers and Tom Stock. And the Boss Man looking extra menacing here. It's in the eyes. Pit stains and all on the corrections shirt. We also get an insert poem from the Genius. What an unusual match to get that in, but the Genius feels the Towers will defeat the Demos for the tag team titles before too long as the action gets going. Jimmy Powers ducks and dodges the Boss Man early. Stick and move is Powers here, but the Boss Man catches up. Clothesline takes Jimmy's face off. Punt kick as well, straight to the ribs for good measure. Could have broken a rib there of the former Young Stallions. Powers wisely able to crawl over, tag out to Tom Stock, and in comes Akeem for some dancing and some clubbing. Boss Man back inside with the Samoan drop, setting up Air Africa. The big splash, 747 down on Stock. Going to give the Twin Towers the win, 2 minutes and 42 seconds. And of course, little extracurricular fun here as the Twin Towers opponents handcuffed to the ropes, beaten with the nightstick. And it looks like Paul Roma fared a little better than Jimmy Powers this week on TV. We'll have to pay attention to that as we go off now to apparently backed by popular demand. It's No Holds Barred, the music video. Didn't know we needed that in our lives again, but there it was. I'm sure John Paz is out there with his fist pumping in the air. As we continue on, we've got one more match here on Challenge. We kicked off Superstars with the Red Rooster. We're going to close Challenge with the Red Rooster as well. So we open and close the show with terrific Terry Taylor, Double R, the Red Rooster, battling Butler Stevens this time. We even get an insert promo from the Rooster this week, who is getting over excellently and exactly as planned. Poultry in motion. Cock-a-doodle-doo. Bobby Heenan continues to really lose his mind. Loses shit here on commentary. Being ignored and disrespected from Tony Schiavone and the Gorilla, who are blatantly mocking him here on commentary by this point. And, Bobby, you ain't wrong. I kind of get why you're turning on these guys. Couple of bullies grouping together. Meanwhile, in the ring, it's the Red Rooster with that patented Taylor jawbreaker. Little Rooster strutting in between, and the elevated chicken wing. Going to get yet another win here. 1 minute, 32 seconds. Red Rooster going over to close out this week's challenge. Second week in a row, no Ronnie Garvin in the referee role on syndicated TV, but as I mentioned at the end of Superstars, he will be back next week in the fold, and boy, will he ever, so stay tuned for that. Meanwhile, next week here on Wrestling Challenge, it's the challenge debut of the Widowmaker. Barry Windham going to be here, along with former Horseman stablemates, the Brainbusters, also in action. Beyond that, it's going to be the Barbarian, the Mighty Hercules, King Hacksaw Duggan, the Hart Foundation here next week, as well as Bad News Brown, and a special interview with the reigning WWF Tag Team Champions, Demolition. Axe and Smash. Red Rooster. Excellent. Exactly. Boy, maybe Terry and Bret Hart could have fought over who was the excellent of execution. You think? I don't know. Maybe I'm onto something there. I think they dropped the ball. But you know who never drops the ball? It's Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan on Primetime Wrestling. Off we go right now, back in time. It's July 3rd, 1989 edition of WWF Primetime Wrestling.
Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to Primetime Wrestling. I'm Gorilla Monsoon, and
I'm your host, Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Outstanding feature here this week on Primetime Wrestling. Tag team personified.
The Brainbusters.
No, I'm referring to our feature match, which is the Rockers.
The Brainbusters are on
They're not our feature match, though.
I heard they were going to be our feature match.
No, they are not. How can they be our feature match? They're against Slater and Stock. Give me a break.
Who's the Rockers against?
The Rockers are against the Hammer and Dino Bravo.
Somebody
is that a
switched
feature?
them. Well, somebody switched something on me then.
Did you order a specific match?
Yes, I did.
Well, what was it?
I want to see highlights of the Brainbusters' career I was going to show. Since they were managed by me.
I'm not aware of that. Nobody told me that.
I don't have to tell you those things. I talked to the director in the back.
You do?
The other morning.
That's why it's not on the program. You didn't ask me.
Well, who are you to decide
I'm the host of the program.
I'm the host of the program. Are we going to start off another 2 hours like this?
Why aren't we seeing, then, the highlights of the Brainbusters this week?
You're right. You're going to see the Rockers against Valentine and
because that's the
Honky
feature,
Tonk
folks,
Man. Whatever you want, Monsoon. I'm an easygoing guy.
Sure. And I had a bone to pick with you later on, too.
Why?
Things you do in public reflect everywhere, Brain, because you're on national television. And it's a reflection on me as well.
I wasn't in the park.
We'll discuss this off the air.
Oh, you mean about that old woman that was crying?
Just never mind. We're going to go to our opening match right now with the Brainbusters. Let's go to ringside. Take a look.
Well, Bobby Heenan, there you hear it, having great issue with how he's being treated here by the Gorilla, being disrespected left and right on Challenge and certainly here on the primetime set. As we go off now, we're going to hear Bobby Heenan more comments. He's not only upset with Gorilla Monsoon, he's also not a fan of Tony Schiavone.
You see, if you weren't so vindictive, you could have had another member of the Heenan family on this week. Hercules could have still been tried to sell.
I made money with him, though. I made money.
Money isn't everything, you know.
Maybe not to you, it is to me.
Obviously.
You think I'm sitting here because I like being here with you? No, I'm sitting here because I get paid well. I'll make a deal with you. If you apologize to me and start treating me
For what?
For all the abuse you've given me the last 3 years, and treat me with a little respect, I won't get on your case about having this Tony Schiavone on all the time.
Tony Schiavone?
On Wrestling Challenge. You snuck him.
What's wrong with Tony Schiavone?
He isn't welcome.
By whom? By you?
He's not capable to be in the same announcing
He's
booth
one
as
of the
me.
premier play-by-play men in all of professional wrestling.
I don't like him. I don't like him. I don't like him.
So that means the guy's out. You
I
don't
hate
like
him. How's that? I hate him. I can't stand him.
Well,
He stinks.
obviously you have to see a lot more
He's
of him.
a creep.
then.
He's a geek.
We'll have to see a whole lot more of him.
I don't like you either. How do you like that?
Well,
I don't like these stupid posters. I
feeling
don't like
is-
this
is
program.
mutual.
I don't like the guy here with the three
Here's
fingers.
a guy you're going to like.
No, he's got
Sean
one finger
Mooney.
sticking up.
Well, there you hear it. Bobby, no fan of Tony Tony Schiavone, and he lets us hear it here. And now later on, we know that there would be some shoot comments made by Heenan in the shoot interview era about his not so pleasant times working with Tony in WCW. At least that's how Bobby saw it. I don't think Tony necessarily had those issues with the brain, but Bobby here, I think this is more of a work than a shoot here in 1989. Bobby being Bobby and very upset with how he's being treated. And that's not all. We've got one more soundbite for you here this week on Primetime Wrestling. It's Bobby Heenan coming out of the plumber, baby, the plumber vignette. Bobby Heenan gonna trash the woman in the vignette, who was the lady of the house, if you will, who had her toilet plunged or fixed, or the triple potty bypass from the American Dream. Now, bear in mind, as Bobby roasts this lady, keep in mind, this is Bobby Heenan's wife.
Boy, he's something else.
But did you notice something?
Speechless, right?
He belongs there. He belongs in a bathroom on his hands and knees with a plunger. But look, did you notice that housewife? Do you know how she was making eyes at him?
What?
Yeah, she probably opens the door, lets the bread man in, the milkman.
Will you
Hey, who knows
stop?
when he left the house? Who knows?
Why are you inferring that? That's not true.
Well, she
How
had
do you
that-
know that? Were you there? No.
No, but she had that look in her
Do you
eye.
know her? No.
But she had that
Is
look
it
in
in
her
your
eye.
neighborhood? No. How would you know?
Well, she had that look in her eye. She looks cheap. Her husband's probably driving some beer truck all over town trying to make a living, and she's luring in handyman all day long. There's something going on there.
Did you ever hear the term litigation?
Yes, I have.
Well, you may be facing some if you keep up all these slanderous remarks.
I apologize. You're not a tramp. Not a big tramp.
Demolition coming up right now on Primetime Wrestling.
Well, Bobby Heenan right here on USA ribbing his wife. I don't know if she even watched the program, but if she did, or if Bobby told her to tune in, I'm sure she got a kick out of it. Bobby Heenan even ribbing. Nobody's safe from the brain here, having a little fun with his wife at home. Little Jezebel action, or at least that's what Bobby was alluding to. As we close out primetime this week, Heenan continues to remain very irate, very upset with his treatment lately from Gorilla Monsoon, and that's going to escalate. Actually, it's going to culminate right here next week on Primetime, so stay tuned for that. And stay tuned for Matt Crowder as my guest. We're going to talk about that together. And only one exclusive that I could find here this week. On Primetime Wrestling, taped June 28th in Rochester, New York, it was the Rockers defeating the team of Dino Bravo and Greg Valentine on a reverse decision. Now, Bravo had Jannetty pinned after an illegal clothesline from Greg Valentine behind the referee's back. 12 minutes of action gave him enough time here to get a match going, but referee Ronnie Garvin, who was not the official for the matchup, comes ringside after the bout and informs the referee in the match what had taken place, illegal activity from the illegal man Greg Valentine, which led to the decision being reversed. Believe it or not, the Rockers getting a DQ victory here over Jimmy Hart's men Dino Bravo and Greg Valentine, and Ronnie Garvin playing a huge part in that. Ronnie Garvin continuing his issues with Greg Valentine and, to a lesser extent, Dino Bravo. And that's going to continue as well next week, so stay tuned for that. And stay tuned for more Greande. Stay tuned for the special edition next week when guest Matt Crowder returns for his second trip here through the Greande world. Looking forward to having Matt back on, our resident Jesse Ventura impressionists. I don't really know if it's an impression when you sound like Jesse to begin with, but he'll be here. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to his Jesseisms and looking forward to having conversation. A great time when Matt or anybody we can get here on the Greande stops by to talk about this era of the WWF, the hottest era, up until the Attitude Era, at least. I wasn't a giant fan of a lot of the Attitude stuff. Austin was great. Vince was great, but a lot of the other stuff wasn't, the mid-card stuff wasn't really a giant fan of. But here in 1989, even the Red Rooster could do no wrong to 9-year-old Ray Russell. But keep that in your back pocket for next week. We're going to be recording that show early, so I promise you it will be out there on time. But we're going to wrap it up this week. Want to remind everybody again to please go try, give patreon.com/WrestleCopia a try. Now 9 video casts strong there between the VIP and the Ultimate tiers. Plus you get that 3 terabyte drop box, the Ultimate Tier Plus, digital downloads area, early access, research notes. I ain't just saying it because I'm the one putting it out. It is definitely worth your time. It's definitely worth the money. Try to keep things as affordable as possible while still making it realistic for me to get it done. And of course, you guys can gift that to a friend, a family member, if they might be interested in the Patreon, the extra video casts. A lot of those video casts also available in podcast audio form, from the Coliseum cast to Dan Gennety's Pro Racu video cast. The big ones constantly bumping out the big ones with Jamie Ward, Steve Eckstedt, several others joining in lately. Regional Wrestling Unreeled, getting close to the end of the Southwest USA run. Mid-South Wrestling trucking along in 1982. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag. Got a very big new video cast coming as well as part of the Patreon. I don't want to say anything yet, not until it's 100% ready to go, but it's very exciting and I'm looking forward to it. And we're going to leave that there for now. We'll be back, guys, very soon. More Greande right around the corner. Matt Crowder, looking forward to him. Looking forward to hearing from you guys. Thank you guys again, as always. And as we close out the program, it's time to say, from pillar to post and coast to coast, you pull the pin and I'll pick up the pieces right here on the Wrestling Memory Greande. See you next week. Don't miss it. Be there.
But look, did you notice that housewife? Do you know how she was making eyes at him?
What?
Yeah, she probably opens the door, lets the bread man in, the milkman. Hey, who knows when he left the house? Well, she
How
had
do you
that,
know that? Were you there? No.
No, but she had that look in her eye.
Do you know her? No.
But she had that look in her eye.
Is it in your neighborhood? No. How would you know?
Well, she had that look in her eye. She looks cheap. Her husband's probably driving some beer truck all over town trying to make a living, and she's luring in handyman all day long. There's something going on there.
Did you ever hear the term litigation?
Yes, I have.
Well, you may be facing some if you keep up all these slanderous remarks.
I apologize. You're not a tramp. Not a big tramp.
Demolition coming up right now on Primetime Wrestling.